Hey guys, all right, so today I'm doing my, just going through my normal work day. All right, so I reset my today trip meter, 0 miles, 0 watt hours per mile, 253 miles of rated range for the 80% charge that I have. Usually it's 254 or so, but anyway, so I'm gonna start the day and we will see how it goes. And I've put 5.2 miles in the car and I'm at 187 watt hours per mile currently. Just going through my normal work day to show you guys the typical type of driving I do and what my watt hours per mile are for my normal work day. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not necessarily going to hypermile the car, but I'm going to be careful with it. I'm not going to floor it if I don't need to, and try and keep a reasonable speed and all of that. And my tire pressure is at basically 50 psi all the way around. So the weather's ideal, the tire pressure is ideal, and I'm just going to do my best to just sort of drive normal, but while taking just a small amount of care to maximize my range. So, yep, I will. We'll see how it goes throughout the day. Any interstate driving, you'll notice my watt hours per mile is going to go way up. If I do mostly in-town driving, as I've been this morning, it will stay way down. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I've currently got 3.2 miles to get to my next stop, and it says 6 minutes. We'll see if that's taking traffic into account or not. But yeah, so I wanted to show you guys the way I use my car on a day-to-day basis, and what my day entails. I've got my phone plugged in here. This is a tablet that I use for online billing and parts research and that for work. So that I've got mounted in the cell phone dock. Most days I drive 160 miles a day would be the norm. It's mostly in town and town to town driving. I usually don't do a lot of interstate driving, but every day I will do some. Now there are some days I'm in the interstate for over an hour to get to an appointment, and then my watt hours per mile really goes up. But if I'm staying in town, then like right now I'm going 42. There's almost no power being consumed at all, and I get very good. I'm at 180 watt hours per mile right now, but we'll see how the day progresses and what kind of watt hours per mile efficiency I'm seeing and how many miles I drive today. So today I currently have 9 appointments, which is pretty typical for me. I just left my first stop, which was an 8 a.m. appointment, and I'll be arriving at my second stop at 8:32 a.m. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I currently, I've driven 42.7 miles, and I'm at 174 watt hours per mile for the day. So pretty good. It's 76 degrees outside. I'm not using the air conditioning. I'm just opening the windows a little bit to stay cool. And yeah, it's going well so far. I haven't done any expressway driving. It's been all town to town, but I'll check in with you guys in a little bit, let you know how my day is running. I've gone through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 service calls for my day so far. I have 3 left after this next stop. But first, driving through Jimmy John's to grab a sandwich. So I'll check in with you guys after I've eaten and let you know how my day is running. All right, so far I've gone 68.2 miles, and I'm at 170 watt hours per mile, and it's going pretty well. Let's see here. My battery says battery indicator says I've got 199 miles of range left, and I've gone 68.4 miles. And if you remember, I started the day and the car estimated I'd have 253 miles of range. So that means that I should have used that range within about 54 miles of driving, but instead I've gone 68.5. So I'm way ahead of the curve as far as range estimation. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our energy. So this is my the next leg of my journey, and it says that I'll arrive with 53% charge. I'm at 63% now, and I'll arrive with 53% charge. So it says that in the 27 miles I have to go that I'll use 10% of my charge. But so we'll see. The Navigate on Autopilot came up, so obviously I'm going to be on the expressway for a period of time. So we'll see how it goes, and I will check in and let you guys know. My day, most of my day, in case you're wondering, is spent, I put about maybe 15-20 minutes spent in a customer's home doing an appliance repair. And then I average, like in this case, it says I'm 36 miles away from my next stop. And that's pretty typical. I would say half hour of driving, 15 minutes in a home, half hour of driving, 15 minutes in a home. So I can do 10 service calls a day. I have 9 today, but I'll probably be done by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I started at 8 a.m. So that's my typical day. But it's, I'm in and out of my car a lot. So not only the efficiency of the car, but the comfort level is very important to me. But anyway, so we will keep on trucking to our next stop and see how it goes. Let's see if the, yeah. So anyway, I'll check back in later. All right, so I'm just about ending my day. It's a little bit shorter driving day than I normally have. I've gone 120 miles. And I've averaged 182 watt hours per mile. I've gone 120 miles and averaged 181 watt hours per mile. I haven't driven as many miles today as I normally do, but I've gotten quite good efficiency today. Normally I drive about 160 miles a day, but so figured you guys would get a kick out of seeing that. And yeah, it's been a typical day of driving, but not as many miles, but typical type of driving for me. And ending at 181 watt hours per mile is pretty good. So typically I would be driving about 160 miles a day, and today's been a little bit less than that. I also have a little bit of driving left to do yet, but 181 watt hours per mile is quite good. I think the best I've ever seen was in the 160s, 167, 169, something like that, watt hours per mile for the day. And I would say 188 to 194 is typical in the summer with my 18-inch aero wheels and tires, but without the aero caps. And when I use my 20-inch aftermarket wheels and tires, I'm more like 220 watt hours per mile throughout the day, which is right around what Tesla rates the car at anyway. So even with my aftermarket 20-inch wheels and wider tires, I'm still right at about the efficiency that Tesla is expecting that you know, we as drivers should see out of our cars. You know, I've had this car for 44,000 miles so far, and I have to tell you, it has opened my eyes to some things. For one thing, the only real maintenance that I've had to do, I mean, other than, I don't know, changing tires, but that actually the factory, I've got the factory wheels and tires on it right now, but I've only put maybe 15,000 miles on those. My aftermarket wheels and tires had seen the other 18 or 19,000 miles. So I haven't even worn out a set yet, but I have 2 different sets that I swap between. But other than that, I haven't had to do any, you know, no maintenance. I mean, with a gas car, you can expect to have issues with it. Right now with my wife's Ford, I'm changing a vapor purge valve and an oxygen sensor along with the rear brake pads. And you know, you just don't get that kind of thing with an EV. And now a lot of people would say, well, brake pads, that doesn't matter, you know, with gas car or electric car. Yes, it does. Electric cars have electric regen, so the mechanical brakes only work a small amount of the time. So really, other than wearing tires, you know, there's no real maintenance that's needed on these cars. And you know, so in the 44,000 miles I've owned this car, I've put washer fluid in it. And I got to tell you, that is it's really, really nice considering the number of miles I've put on the car. And so that's my average day. Typically what I do, I get up in the morning, I do about 45 minutes of paperwork, and then I hit the road. I might drive anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes to get to my first stop, depending on what town it's in. and I get there in the house for 15-20 minutes, whatever, get on the road, drive another 30-40 minutes to my next stop, spend 15 or 20 minutes in the house, rinse and repeat. So I do that throughout the day. Some days I stop for lunch, other days I don't. Today I drove through Jimmy John's and bought a number 7 and a bag of jalapeno chips. Highly recommend it. Great servicer's middle of the day meal. But anyway, normally I work right through lunch, or I'll bring a bag of beef jerky or something with me to get me through. But yeah, I enjoy working with this car every day. It's nice driving a premium car. This thing has a solid feel to it. It is the quality is very high. It's torquey. It's efficient. I love it. So definitely a good car to spend every day, all day in. But anyway, just a simple video. Lately, it's just been basic videos that I've been doing. But have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye now. Well, you can see that since the last charge, which would be today, I've gone 69.7 miles, and I'm averaging 169 watt hours per mile. So really, really good power consumption for the day today. And yeah, some days are like this. Now, today it's 80 degrees out right now. It started the day at about 70 this morning. So weather is even more in the perfect range, and I haven't yet been on the expressway. So, but yeah, 169 watt hours per mile, and I have not been trying to hypermile it at all. In fact, I floored it a couple of times today. But what I have done is I've been off the expressway. It's just been town to town driving. So.